Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Goonies World. I'm Ryan, also known as Meanie, or Meanie, also known as Ryan. You can flip that either way is fine with me. And joining me, as always, Colin, also known as Goonie, or Goonie, also known as Colin.
Hey.
And, of course, it wouldn't be Goonies World without Sean, also known as Johnny Pharaoh, or Johnny Pharaoh, also known as Sean.
Hey or hey.
And I believe we are returning to the Burrow
Yes,
land.
Back to the world of Bunnies and Burrows, the original edition from 1976. And when we stopped last time, you, in your quest to find the missing rabbit John Radisher, have just found him dead, or at least part of him dead, under the porch of the big house, far from the north of Stonewall, where you live. And you thought that Pyewacket, the murderous black cat who lives here, was asleep, but he just said to you, so... You didn't really think I was asleep, did you? Now, again, he's above you on the porch. You can kind of see his fur through the cracks of the porch above you. You've come in under the porch, and he was sleeping, supposedly, in the sunlight. And you also have found a strange clue, which seems to indicate that John Radisher might have been a spy. But what do? Your little bunny hearts freeze a little bit, I'm sure, as brave as you are when you hear Pyewacket's voice. For this great big cat has murdered many rabbits.
Well, I don't know. I'm not feeling good about this at all.
If we run, he will chase us down and kill us.
Yeah, but he's a fat piece of shit. I can outrun him. But you might not be able to.
I heard that, and I'm not fat, I'm husky. The lady who lives here told me so. And I'm not very hungry at the moment, because I've just eaten. Why don't you come out of there, little rabbits, and talk to me for a while my food digests?
I think we can talk down here just fine. Now,
you hear some movement from above, and the shadow fur gets up, and he pops down the little slats in the stairs and turns around with a great big yawn. And as he turns around, he glances over at his tail, like he sees a bit of his tail in the peripheral vision. He's like, what? And he looks over at you, returns his baleful gaze to you. Did you see something?
No.
I saw nothing. Feeling paranoid?
Well, I'm always on my guard, especially after a meal, when I'm feeling full and not as frisky as I normally am. But every now and then lately, I've been seeing something out of the corner of my eye. It's driving me crazy. And then he whips around really fast. And, he turns around and looks at you. So... what brings you here, little rabbits? Surely not for my dinner.
Was your dinner John Radisher?
Oh, was that his name? He squealed so deliciously. And he did taste of radishes, now that I think of it. Disgusting, vile radishes.
Well, I would say you will pay for that, but we are thinking maybe that he has betrayed our Burrow and is a traitor.
No, I don't know. He seems like a friendly sort to me when I saw him. He was hiding just over there where you came in so sneakily by the gate and talking to a rather large stoat. And when they saw me, of course, the stoat skedaddled. John Radisher was not so lucky. I got a feeling I interrupted a terribly important conversation.
Oh, shit, what was that?
And he turns around, and I'm going to see if he sees his tail. He's got a 60% chance. And he flips around. I rolled a 9. He flips around and starts chasing his tail in a circle. He's like, oh, I got to get it. I see it. I got to get it. Now, do you guys want to take any action while he is so distracted here?
I'm just going to fucking run.
Now would be a good time to run.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you don't really have to dodge because he is distracted. And and your speed again is like 17, correct, isn't it, Runny Carlos? Yes, and you can do 50 yards in this round, and you just take off. I assume towards the fence where the little hole is.
That's where we came in.
Okay. And then what's your speed,
12.
Foo-Foo? 12. Well, you can run about 30 yards, and you'll make it almost there too. So, oh! And then you hear Pyewacket's howl of disappointment. And he stopped chasing his tail, and he looks over. Oh, you're much too far away to bother with, but I'm sure I'll see you again if you pass this way.
We will see each other again.
Ta-ta, he says. Well, good distraction. He's obviously not realized it's his tail that he's chasing in a circle. So Pyewacket may not be the most brilliant cat. But now you find yourselves there, just outside the gate. And what do you want to do? You could return and, give this information to Grandma Maizy, or you could go to Drainpipe. You could do any number of things.
We must seek out this stoat somehow. I think he is the key. Maybe if we go to Drainpipe, we can ask around and I'm sure there's more than one stoat, but we might get some answers there.
Well, I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe we should go back to the burrow and talk to Granny Maizy and see what she wants us to do. I don't know. Going off the Drainpipe seems kind of scary.
It's certainly scary, and of course you also are supposed to bring back John Radisher's truck. I mean, he's got like a human Tonka truck toy that's all beat up that he pushed radishes around in, which your friends, the Wheezy Boys, well, I wouldn't call them your friends, but the Weasel Gang, the Wheezy Boys, was guarding that for you on their oath, if you recall, the Weasel's word. I think you gave away 2 of your red berries to them.
Yeah.
And so you're without any, at least Fufu, I think, is without any healing herbs.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a great adventure could be had by going straight to Drainpipe and seeing what's what. It's also possible that Granny Maizy could offer some words of wisdom and encouragement.
And maybe some more herbs.
Yes, perhaps you are wise. Maybe we should stop by our burrow and seek the advice of Granny.
And we could take the truck back too and turn it in,
If you can move it this time, I just found it hard to push last time, which entertained the weasels greatly. But you make your way back down the trail you came up, where you were following the smell of the snuff ball that John Radisher had used to disguise his scent and try to mask his scent, which was your first inkling that maybe he didn't want to be found. But eventually, after an hour or so, you make it back down the hill into the valley and then up into where the Weeping Willow stands, which is where you left the truck. The weasels are still there. They're smoking corn silk with Nellie, the big, huge snapping turtle who you've met before. "What's up, rabbits?" says Nellie with his corn silk dangling from his mouth. "Hey, you're back. I thought Pyewacket was going to get you for sure," says Greedy Gut. "Yeah, I thought you was dead," says Vinegar Tom. "Yeah, you was dead like dead," says Sugar Sack.
No chance. We are alive, and now we have come for the cart.
"Oh, yeah, well, we've got it for you. Like you said, you're lucky we're on the Weasel's code here because Nellie here wanted to get it. He says he knows we can get all kinds of, all kinds of good fish and whatnot. He's a little watering hole, and he said if he tells us where it is, if we give him the truck, he'll tell us where it is. So if you didn't come back by nightfall, we was going to figure you was dead, and that Pyewacket got you. Hey, how'd you meet that big bastard anyway?"
Well, he just eaten John Radisher, so he wasn't very hungry, fortunately. Also, he's very stupid.
Yes. The intelligence of cats is overrated.
"Yeah, I'm the first to agree. A lot of people ain't intelligent like me. I got a doctorate. I got a doctorate in being a badass. Ain't that right, fellas?" "Yeah, that's right. He's a badass." "Yeah, that's right." Hey. Well, go ahead and take your truck. Take your truck. Now he's even, all right? Now he's even.
What do you know of a stoat that might have come through here that met with John Radisher?
Nah, stay away from stoats. They're like the weasel's white trash cousin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, white trash cousin. Yeah, white trash cousin. Yeah, we stay away from the only big stoat I know about is Bile over in Drainpipe. And he's a big bastard, too. He's the biggest stoat I ever seen. They say he got the whole place. He's running it like an iron fist now. He got foxes helping him out. He's got hawks helping him out and all kinds of wicked rabbits. I'm talking really hard cases, that they don't want where you live. What is it? Stonewall, and I never get the name right.
Stonewall.
Yeah. Ain't that right? Well, anyway, that's the only stoat I know about, and he's bile, and he's bad. You don't want to be messing with bile. I wouldn't even mess with bile, and I'm bad. Aren't I bad, Vinegar Tom? Yeah, you bad, greedy gut. Isn't he bad? Sugar sack? Yeah, he's bad, all right. Hey.
You ain't bad. You ain't bad.
Suddenly, they all break into a dance groove, start snapping their fingers, and music starts, and 3.5 minutes later, we continue with our conversation. But do you guys want to try to see if you have better luck pushing the cart this time? Yeah, let's. Nelly the turtle speaks up and he goes, "Let's see if you're as strong as you're fast. I heard you guys had trouble moving it. Always bragging about how you're so fast. Let's see how strong you guys are." And so, you guys could attempt.
I think you should go first, Fufu. You're stronger than I am.
Yes, what do I need to roll for it?
All right, Fufu. You have a 65% chance to move this wagon.
All right. He's gonna stretch his arms.
Wait a minute. What's your strength
17?
again? All right. You have an 85% chance to move this wagon.
Yeah, I think I just rolled really bad last time. This time I got a 43.
Oh, okay, well. There you go. All right, well, I was getting to worry about you. Thought all that was fat, not muscle.
Ha.
But anyway, you managed to finally move the Tonka truck radish cart, much to the disappointment of the weasels, who were hoping to make fun of you a little bit, as was Nelly. Well, be careful out there. Don't you watch out for these stoats. If I was you, I wouldn't go asking around over the Drainpipe. There's bad boys over there.
We'll be fine, thank you.
Fine like your mama.
What?
Says Nelly. Nothing?
Get out of here.
Nothing. He didn't say nothing.
Go back to where you came
from.
from.
All right. Well, I assume you guys can push that back along the path to Stonewall without too much problem.
In motion, I can keep it going. You might want to hop in.
That's right. That's right. And the path is well worn, and it's already rutted because John Radisher's pushed it back and forth so many times between here and Bywater, where he trades the radishes for watercress. But it's a relatively uneventful journey back, and you make it to Stonewall, and it looms above you again, this crumbling old stone wall covered with moss all over the top. And you make it back into the Maizy Warrens. Hello there, good morning, hello, say all the rabbits who are going about their business. And you can hear like the hundreds and hundreds of little baby rabbits cry on the way back in the background in the nursery. And finally you make your way into the Great Hall, where Granny Maizy holds court. And she says, I see you have returned. And they tell me you've left, you couldn't push the cart in here, but they tell me you have returned the cart as well.
Yes, Granny.
But I do not see John Radisher with you.
Well, I have part of him. I want to take out the tail that I put in my pouch and present that.
Very sad. What happened to him?
A victim of Pyewacket.
Pyewacket. One day we shall have to have a reckoning with Pyewacket, who has wrought much sorrow here.
I will lead the charge against him.
But that is strange to me. Pyewacket must be ranging rather far afield, because Pyewacket would be up north at the big house. Rarely does he come down on the path to Bywater to do his hunting.
Well, unfortunately, we have learned some unsettling news.
Oh?
Yes, I'm afraid John Radisher, we traced him to the very big house where Pyewacket lives. And we found something.
You found something?
Yes, Ronnie Carlos can show you.
All right, take a look at this. This is crazy, man. He has all this stuff written down like he was a spy or something. He's got like all the entrances and the defense points and everything.
I believe you're right. This is most disconcerting. I do not like this at all. This must be thought upon. I believe it is obvious that someone is planning some sort of an invasion, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and we have suspected it might be members of Drainpipe.
Yeah, that big stupid cat said that John Radisher was talking to a big old stoat.
Yes, a stoat, which we learned that could be a stoat named... what was it?
Bile. Yes, I'm aware of him. Yes. Well, for many long years, a sort of uneasy truce has existed. The wicked rabbits and strange animals of Drainpipe rarely have bothered the fine folk of Stonewall. That is because we are resourceful and powerful. However, brute force does not always work best.
I
think gathering information...
What?
I think... Please
Sorry.
do not interrupt when I am pontificating. I think brute force may work later on in the game, but now we need to gather information. And so, how would you feel about a bit of a spy mission?
Yes, whatever needs to be done, Granny.
I don't want to ask too much of you. I don't know if you are powerful and brave enough for this, but you're among the best we have.
We are up to it.
I'm fast. I don't know how sneaky I am.
Yes. Well, I think courage and resourcefulness and ingenuity should be your greatest allies here. What I suggest is that you come up with some sort of disguise, come up with a new name and disguise yourselves somehow, and then go try to make your way into Drainpipe and see if you can learn their plans and, if possible, discredit or stop this Bile the Stoat somehow. And if you wait here, I will talk to our herbalists and see if there's anything we can gather that could help you in your mission. Meanwhile, you think of a pseudonym and some form of disguise, and I will return shortly. And she turns and leaves you guys alone in the Great Hall of Stonewall. And now you have to think of some way to disguise yourself a little bit and come up with a name, which I'll put you on the spot, just as she has. And tell me who wants to go first.
My name is Foo-Foo. I guess I could be Poo-Poo.
Hey, that's pretty good. I like that. I was thinking I could be like Dave or something, you know, like Steve or Dave or
Steve
Donnie.
Dave. Yes, that would be a good disguise. I wouldn't know you if you said your name was Dave or whatever.
Well, what do you guys want to do physically? You got to know like some aliases now. What do you want to do to disguise yourselves a little bit? It could be something simple, but there should be some spy color in how you change how you present yourself.
I wonder if we could hide our ears or something and pose as guinea pigs.
Hey, that's not a bad
funny.
idea. Maybe we could put on hats or something, and then say that we're guinea pigs, and we escaped from captivity or something, and we wanna eat meat now or something. I don't know.
Is that what they're doing in there in that town, eating meat?
That's what they're saying. The rumors are that some of the wicked rabbits have been eating meat, which of course goes against the grain and probably makes them very sick at first, but apparently they get used to it. Or are those just dark rumors? Certainly the stoats eat meat. And you've heard rumors that other big animals like foxes are there with them as well. But if you want to try to come up with some form of disguise with your ears by getting little hats together, and they have little caps and things like that around here. Some rabbits wear little capes or cloaks. So it doesn't take long for you to round up some hats. What type of a little hat do you get? Keeping in mind rabbits probably can't make anything too complicated. If you have a really wild hat, it probably came from a human doll or something that ended up in the trash. So what kind of hat are you guys wearing?
I'm going to try several on. Maybe like a a bowler type hat.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, there's a little bowler hat. It's from a ventriloquist dummy that was dragged here. It was from the trash. He had a little bowler hat on, and it's just about the right size for you.
Yeah.
You want the monocle that went with it? Yeah.
I want like a doll. It could possibly come off like a doll, like a matador doll. You know, like those like black hats with like the red trim and like the little red tassels that like.
You know what? I think that there's a good chance of that. Hey, I rolled a 06. I didn't even know what the chance was before I rolled the dice, but I'm sure a 06 will suffice. And yes, it was actually from part of a piñata that they had. Some human community had a Cinco de Mayo that went to the trash, a little matador piñata piece that, with his little hat. And that's still relatively intact, a little dirty. And so with your hats, and we'll see if you can disguise yourselves as guinea pigs. To see how effective these disguises are, we won't roll dice now. We'll roll dice in the moment when we need to. But they may or may not be completely effective. But I agree, rabbits and guinea pigs sort of look a lot alike. So that might be a good idea. It might be a good plan. I didn't know what you guys were going to do. But, oh my, I did not know what you would come up with, says Granny Maizy as she walks back in the room with her chief herbalist, whose name is Harpo. Harpo doesn't say anything, but he hands her a bag, and she goes, I have some things here that may help you. Now, alas, our herbalist can spare only one red berry for each of you.
Yes.
So please take that. It may come in handy if your red berries you got from Aloysius have not already. And here, Harpo has come up with something we call slumber root powder. And he has given her a little acorn cup with a lid, like they've taken an acorn and hollowed out the inside, and the top of it's like a little lid of the cup. Inside this cup is some powder that should make a rather large animal fall asleep if they ingest it. You have to get them to eat it, however. You can't just blow it in their face. Well, they will fall into a very deep sleep, this slumber root. And finally, we have some bitter mushroom for you. When if you eat it, you'll temporarily have great strength. You may feel fatigued afterwards. And then Harpo gestures violently and points at his little bag around his neck, and she shakes her head, and he gestures even more violently, and finally she sighs. Yes, very well. Harpo here has something he would like to test. This is something he calls fire root. It's very, very dangerous. And if you place this in the sun, then within a few seconds, it should begin to catch flame. Use it as a last resort, please. Do not set the longwood on fire.
I feel like this is a scene from, like, the bunny version of the 007 movie.
Yeah.
It was like,
Q yes. It's totally, he's totally Q, yeah. Yeah. And then finally, we have a cigarette gun. No. Here's the keys to your Aston Martin.
I'm sorry,
however,
how did she say we were supposed to use the fire root?
The fire root, you place it in the sun, in direct sunlight, and a fire will start a little bit later. And all these little herbs are kept in these little acorn cups that you can put in your little bags you wear around your necks. Now, I don't know how convincing your disguises are. Remember, you must change your personalities as well. Guinea pigs have very different personalities from rabbits.
Stupid. But they are they're more docile, I think. While we would hop around and flop, they just sit there and squeak and eat. From what I've seen.
Well, all of the hopes of all of the rabbits of Stonewall go with you in your journey. But will you go by night or go by day?
Well, how many hours is it to Drainpipe?
Well, this is, I've never been there myself, but it is past the big house. I imagine you'll be on the road some hours. It makes no difference to me whether you go at night or day, but you must understand, as you have already learned, that the predators change complexion after dark, or during the day there are others. During the day it's easier to be seen. At night, darker things are out.
Might be wise to go during the day when there are less predators around.
Yeah, I don't want to get picked up by an owl or something. That wouldn't be no good.
Yes.
Yes, luckily we're very far from where they have owl camp right now. So...
That is good.
Yes, this is a Jupiter Springs game. You just didn't know it. No. Anyway, yes, she sends you on your mission. Harpo looks after you approvingly. Good luck. Yes, good luck. Yes, we were just saying good luck. Yes, Hamish said good luck, say all the rabbits as you move back out through the crowded and busy burrows of Stonewall out into the daylight. And begin your long walk. Now, do you want to go back to the big house and go from there and risk running into Pyewacket again, or do you want to kind of take a slightly longer way around Round Top Hill and find your way to Pebble Creek, which you crossed on the way? You could follow the creek instead of cross it, and you could get to Drainpipe that way. So it's really up to you.
Depends on how fast cats digest their food. Yeah, we might want to go around. I think Fufu would not be afraid, but Madigan, it might be smart too.
Yeah. You don't know what you will encounter on the long way around, but you also know a very unpleasant thing that you will encounter.
Yes.
I'm not saying you couldn't beat Pyewacket in a fight, but I'm saying Pyewacket could potentially kill you in like one attack.
One of these days I will go toe-to-toe with Pyewacket. But I am not ready yet. I must prepare.
And as you make your plans for the future, don't forget the special properties of the herbs that Harpo has given you. But you go around the long way. And so you don't follow the same path you did earlier, and you will not go past the Weeping Willow and will not encounter your friends again. But you go up and around the hill round top, and there are some great stones and boulders, and there's a lot of critters, small creatures scatter at your approach, and rabbits are territorial, and they'll fight just to have grazing rights in an area. They'll fight little things like mice and voles and whatnot. But you're kind of out in what might be considered like a rocky badlands from your point of view. These boulders are pretty big compared to you, and they sort of tumble down the hill occasionally and get stuck on each other. You don't have a great line of sight, but luckily you do have your strong smell. And if anyone ever wants to stop and smell and get some clues about what may be ahead of you, you feel free to call out and call for a smell check, as they say. But up ahead, one thing you do smell without having to roll is the smell of rotten wood. There's this huge fallen log, fallen tree. It's a rotten and old log, and there's worms and things crawling inside and out of it. And you'll either have to crawl under it or jump over it to continue on your way. Or go around it. What are those things would you like?
I gotta crawl under it because guinea pigs will crawl under it, right? They wouldn't jump over it.
Yes, they have no hops. We must. If we are committed to our rules, yes, we must go under.
That's a very good point. And as you go under, you wiggle your body down in. Who goes first?
I think I'm gonna go first.
Okay. And you're not as big, so you don't need to roll to wriggle your way under there. You're pretty quick. And you pop up on the other side, no problem. And how about you, Fufu? You're going to have to actually make a roll. And what is your dexterity, Fufu?
8.
Okay. Well, you have a 15% chance to wriggle your way through without touching or dislodging any of the rotten wood. So why don't you give it a shot?
I rolled a 6.
Hey, you just make it right through. And luckily, you're already out and on the other side and not stuck under there when suddenly from a crack in the from a gaping opening in the rotten log, hundreds of wasps all come out at the same time. They've heard you. You've disturbed them. You're in their territory. You know they'll buzz around and attack you and swarm you, and unless you get the heck out of their turf as fast as you absolutely can. But thank the good fairy who watches over the forest that you are not pinned under there to be stung over and over by this angry horde of wasps. And this is a famous horde, and the chief wasp is a big son of a bitch, big wasp named Genghis. And you hear him shout in their incomprehensible wasp language, and they'll just dive bomb you like kamikazes. I'll assume you run, because there's really no way to stop and fight a swarm. And what is your speed is 17, right? Runny
Correct.
Carlos? Yeah, and I think, I know you can run about 50 yards, and I know that from the last time I asked, I don't remember what your strength was, Fufu, but I know you can run 30 yards. And so,
my speed is
you guys
12.
12, yeah, and you can run 30 yards. So you guys take off, and you're going to have to dodge to not get stung. And because you're very fast, Runny Carlos, you're only going to have to make one dodge roll before you can get out of their territory. They usually don't fly around very far. But your dodge roll versus their attack is going to be pretty good. You're going to have an 85% chance if you choose to dodge here instead of fight.
I rolled a
them.
41.
Nice. So you duck and weave, and you finally get out of the area of rotted vegetation where this great log has fallen and up onto some high rocks. And you can see the swarm has stopped chasing you. But your poor friend Fufu is going to have to make 2 dodge rolls on the way. And Fufu, with your speed of 12 and choosing a dodge maneuver, you are going to have a 55% chance to not get stung terribly by the wasps. And you may, of course, roll twice because there's so many wasps and you're slower.
I failed first time.
Oh no! Well, that's too bad because
Oh.
I'll see what this is.
Wow.
No. You failed
Yeah,
twice?
I got a 100.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, oh my. Well, that's critical failure, and so my number of wasps that stings you is going to be the highest possible face on the D6. So you have 7 wasp stings altogether. 1 from the first failed roll, which I rolled a 1, and then the second failed roll is automatically 6. Now, it's just 1 point of damage per sting, but sting, you get all eaten up. That's 7 points of damage gone. Boom. And you're exhausted by the time you reach the rock, and stinging, and their venom's running through your veins, and it's not going to kill you or anything, but it hurts. But you hear Genghis call off their attack when you reach the high rocks, and they triumphantly return to their nest and their rotten log. And now you at least know where that is.
Jerks.
Oh shit, man! Oh, that. Here, have my extra. I've got 3 of these things. You take this extra one. You got stung up pretty good, man.
I admit I am feeling very vulnerable. I must take this berry and recuperate.
Yeah, you take the red berry now. That'll be 1 dice of healing, so it will cure you for D6. I hope you roll high.
4. So
4. Hey, it's
I've
better
got
than nothing.
7 hit points. Because I was already
Okay.
injured a little bit from last game. So, yep, 7.
Yes. Well, this is why most rabbits run rather than fight. And you did run as best you can, but Genghis and his terrible horde of wasps is always, their reputation far exceeds their actual territorial area. If this was a hex map of the Longwood, they would only occupy 1 little hex that you've just crossed through. But and you're in this region of high tumble boulders now, and on top of the hill, the reason they call it Round Top is because it doesn't have a lot of trees up there. And, of course, you're always on the lookout for large birds, and you don't see any right now. There are plenty of birds, but you don't see any big predatory birds, no falcons, no hawks. Every now and then, there's hawks that circle far ahead and then dive suddenly upon you, but you don't see anything like that right now. Of course, you'll have to run up over the hill, and the sun is shining down. It's very warm between the rocks, and at the top of the hill there's a pretty bad crack, which has created a ravine almost, as the top of the hill is sort of starting to crack apart. This comes from pressure from an old tree that was ripped out of the ground a long time ago there, probably by high winds. You realize that tree has ripped out and its roots have partially cracked open the top of the hill, and the tree itself is probably that great big rotten log that's rolled all the way down over the boulders to the bottom of the hill. But plenty of places to hide in here, though, is the good news, in case you see a bird of prey. Now, birds of prey, they just go around randomly. I'm going to see if there is one right now. There's always a 25% chance. But luckily there is not at the moment, because our terrible hawk is off somewhere else, I guess. Now, to get over this area of cracks and ravines, though, you'll certainly have to jump. So to jump across these cracks and ravines, each of you will have to make a quick roll. This is based on your strength, however. And what was your strength, Ronnie?
15.
Okay. So that's still a pretty good. So you have a 75% chance to make this jump, which is just, I say, about a yard or two.
75?
Yeah, and getting a running start, you jump.
40.
And clear it with no problem. Fufu, meanwhile, I assume, has a much higher strength.
17.
17. Okay, and a 17, you have a 90% chance to make this jump, Fufu.
Yes, 49.
And you do. And just as you jump on the other side, there's a big rock right on the other side, and just as you guys land, and Ronnie, you kind of pass this rock, but Fufu's still on the other side of it, and you hear a terrible sound of a rattle. And slithering out from behind the big rock is a huge rattlesnake. It's a huge huge baby with a rattle. He would be huge to you, probably. But, no, it's a huge rattlesnake. He's about 6 feet long. His name is Yago. Everyone hates him. And he slithers out and then looks back and forth at each of you, his eyes going to the left and his eyes going to the right, as if he's trying to figure out where he will strike. And, Ronnie, if you want to do something before... He looks poised to move. And if you want to do something before he does... you can kind of tell he's probably going to try to bite Fufu within seconds.
Oh, gosh. Well, it sounds like I kind of have the opportunity to act first.
Yeah, you have the jump on the situation.
Literally.
Real quick, look at the combat actions and see if there's one of those I want to try to do, or if I just want to run.
Yeah. This game, of course, for our listeners, has sort of a matrix of combat actions, and what they do versus what you do yields a % chance. Ryan's character can see what the other guy's going to do, before he makes his decision, because he's so fast. But Goonie's character's not quite as fast, so he has to kind of make his combat decisions and let other people
So it sounds like
react.
he's trying probably to, bite and release or bite and hold.
Yes.
One of the two.
Yes, he's probably going to do one of those two things.
In which case, I'm going to attempt a rip.
You rip. And with your strength, of course, and we will add the rip percentage. And so, well, that's not bad. And you're going to have, well, I would think that would be slightly higher, but with the plus 20, it will be. You're going to have a 58% chance to succeed at this rip before he can do anything.
What's the plus 24? Just curious.
This because you already have a base % chance because of your strength and his defense class, and then because you chose rip versus a bite and release, you got a plus 20. And so that's a little bit of glimpse into the game mechanics for you.
Said 65?
Yes.
Oh, I rolled a 75.
No. Well, you startle him though, and he turns around and he's at a penalty to his attempted bite. And he's, oh man! But I tell you what, I'm assuming now you. What do you want to try to do? He's trying to bite you, Fufu. But he has a penalty to it already, but I want to see what you do to see before I totally assess it. You can always try to dodge or run. A rattlesnake's bite does 5 dice of damage.
Yeah, I was gonna try to, like, dodge it.
Okay. Well, and he's doing... So, you have a 35% chance to dodge.
Look.
Also, you gave us last time. You gave us a luck point.
I did. Luck point,
How do those work?
You can have it. Well, I had originally, and this is not something that's in the game, I just gave them to you because I know there's snakes and owls and all kinds of terrible things out here that do a lot of damage to little rabbits. And so I had originally said it was a reroll, but I think we should go with automatic success. But I only gave you 1, but it could save your life.
Is this something we have to do, like, prior to...
No, you can use it retrospectively if you wish.
Well, I'd like to see if I could do it.
Yeah, you got a 35% chance to dodge the terrible bite of Yago, the rattlesnake.
I'm gonna just, like... Yeah, I'm gonna be serene, and then the last second, I'm gonna hop as he dives right under me. Okay. And I rolled an 8, I swear. I show you.
Nice.
You can't even see it.
Yep, I can see. His camera's on the 8s. The 0-8. And he makes it and jumps up out of the air, jumps up into the air, and the snake goes shooting past below you, all 6 feet of him. And then I assume you guys want to run the hell away, or do you want to stop and see if you can kill the rattlesnake, just for bragging rights?
I am not at full health.
And 5 dice
otherwise
of damage.
I would.
Yeah, like that's that's a bit much, I think, to try to contend with.
If you come back again this way, you're dead meat,
says Yago.
That's a rather breathy plunger.
Wait till you hear the owls.
Hopefully you won't meet any owls because you are out by day and not up on a bald hill where you're totally visible to an owl at night, which you begin to have the feeling is probably what would have happened. Rattlesnakes enjoy the hot sun up here, and owls enjoy the good hunting. But I assume you'll get the hell off the top of the hill, and below, running around the base of the hill, you do see Pebble Creek. Now, it winds its way all throughout the Longwood. You had to cross Pebble Creek early in your journey to the big house, but, you know, it runs to the east here where you are now. And you can hop across it, no problem. It's got enough pebbles in it that you can hop from pebble to pebble. But if you follow the creek uphill, it should take you to Drainpipe. That's what they say. The Drainpipe empties into this creek.
Yes, this is the way.
Well, the shadows grow long throughout the afternoon as you follow the babbling creek, and night doesn't fall, but it gets into late afternoon to where a lot of the crickets and cicadas and things like that come out, and you can hear the tree frogs calling back and forth after your long day's journey. In fact, you've been traveling since this morning. You know, it's been a long day. All your adventures in the last episode, everything has all been in this day so far. But it's not completely dark. But then, the creek gets narrower, and its pulse gets quicker. And the hills around you are going up and up, and the creek winds its way down through them. And soon, in the distance, you can see in the red glare of the sunlight, the sun's behind you and it's shining through the trees, almost completely illuminating the most gorgeous creature you have ever seen, which is standing in front of a drain pipe. It's a beautiful fox and is basking in the setting sun, but the sun's illuminating this drain pipe that combs out. Now, up at the top of the hill, there's an old road, and you can see a road closed sign, and it's been there for years, like a, and the drain pipe ran under the road from human areas, and it's a storm sewer drain. It's not a sewage drain, so there's not nasty stuff in it. But it has a grill in front of it, but you can tell the bits of the grill have been removed so that fairly big creatures can wriggle their way in there, but not something as big as a fox. The fox is just sitting outside of it, almost like it's guarding it. I don't know if you are trying to not be seen by the fox or not. You've just noticed him. If you'd like to hide and observe further, please go ahead.
I think we should hide it.
Otherwise, you may approach openly.
Just because foxes do, I would imagine, eat rabbits, so we should at least see if he's a friendly fox or not.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you exactly what your chances are to try to hide in less than 2 seconds. And what is your dexterity, Fufu?
Dexterity... 8.
Okay. You have a 50% chance to hide. At 10, there's a 60% chance. At 10, there's a 60% chance to hide.
Well, I rolled a 44.
I've just flipped over the page, so yes.
Well, I rolled a 25, so it sounds like we're both hidden.
That's nice. So you stay. That's great. And you guys are hidden. And you can see the fox. He's preening himself in the sun. But suddenly there's a call from up above. The caw of a raven. And this raven swoops over, and he can see you from where you're hid behind the rock. He doesn't come in and attack, but he swoops over. And goes, "Hey, Foxy, we got some little guinea pigs hiding down in the rocks." "Oh my, guinea pigs," says the fox. "I don't smell any guinea pigs. Come out, little guinea pig. Come and talk to me. Why are you hiding? I'm a friendly fox." Says, because the raven has called him Foxy, so that must be his name. "Thank you, Eddie," he says to the raven. "No problem." And Eddie flies off. Eddie keeps a good eye out for us here at Drainpipe. "Come out, little guinea pig."
Nevermore.
"I heard that," says Eddie as he flies off. "Nice, I like it. I gotta remember that. That's the only word I know how to say in the human tongue. I don't know why. This guy taught me how to say it, and that's all I can say. I think I drove the guy a little crazy, to be honest with you.
All right.
Yes.
I'm coming out now, okay? Just, all right, it's fine.
We're guinea pigs.
OMG, says Foxy. "Where did you get those hats? They're absolutely adorable. I love it. Come closer so I can see them."
Don't you try nothing funny like trying to bite on my guinea pig ass or anything.
No, I could never do that. You're just simply too adorable. Come here, let me get a closer look at you. Oh, I just can't believe that. That's so lovely. That's so cute. I mean, who put hats on you? This is ridiculous.
Our owners. Our former owners.
Owners?
Slavers. We escaped.
Are you saying that you were domesticated?
We once were something like that.
But now we're wild. And we want to taste the flesh of other animals.
Yeah, do you know where to do that? Do you know a stoat named
Isn't it like Bill?
I know a stoat named Bile, and apparently word gets around. I don't believe for 1 minute you've just accidentally stumbled on the Drainpipe. It seems you've heard the rumors.
We want to get freaky.
That's right. I think. You think you've got what it takes to run with the Drainpipe boys?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I agree. We're hard guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of these fellas haven't even seen guinea pigs before. So this should be really exciting.
We were kept in cages that were too small, and we didn't get out much, and we were constantly handled like toys.
I don't mind being handled like a toy, but usually by a vixen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't like being handled like a toy, and so I would bite, and that's how I got the taste for blood.
Oh my, that's a very good explanation. You got to persuade him, but you're going to get a bonus, because that's a good story. That's a plausible story. So, consulting the charisma rules, I'm going to see Your ability to persuade, base 10% chance. And what's your charisma there,
Well,
Ronnie
unfortunately,
Carlos?
it is a mere 9.
Okay, so 10. You have a base 10% chance, and you got a plus 10% to that, so 20% because of your charisma. But I'm going to give a plus 20 for a really good, plausible cover story. So you have a 40% chance of this just being good enough with no further explanation.
Well, that's a
necessary.
22.
Well, I can understand that. I'm, in fact, a little jealous. I've never had a taste of human blood. Is it as good as I think
It's
it is?
like, oh, the best. It's so warm and metallic. It's like biting into a penny.
Better than lettuce. Gross. I mean, now once you have blood, you don't want any carrots or lettuce.
Oh, boy, I've never had that stuff, and I hope I never have to. But, yeah, why don't you boys come on in? I think Bile's going to want to meet you. A couple of hard guinea pigs. That's a gaff. That's absolutely a gaff. Why don't you come on in, said the fox to the guinea pigs. And he gestures at the little hole in the grill where you can enter Drainpipe. Do you want to go in?
Well, yeah.
Yes, we must enter.
We gotta go.
Okay. All right, well, here on the final leg of your mission, you've made it to Drainpipe, and you go inside. But will your disguises be good enough? Will you be able to fool Bile? Will you be able to do anything about their plans to invade Stonewall? We'll just have to find out next time on our probably final installment of Bunnies and Burrows. So we will see you back here in the Longwood, listeners, in a week.